Dr. George Hanshaw here as we dive into cognitivism. And it's important to know learning theory because we know that students forget about 70% of what they were taught within the first 24 hours, up to 90% if you stretch it out even further to a week. And if we use learning theories, well, we can then start to create learning that's more meaningful and learning that sticks. Because remember, we want to create those networks within the brain so that learning is durable. We like to call it durable learning. And in this case, cognitivism is hugely important because this marks a switch from behaviorism or external factors affecting how we learn, what we learn, to those internal mental processes. So let's jump into 5 things you should know about cognitivism within 5 minutes. And the first thing to know about cognitivism is what I briefly just explained. It moved us from a behavioral approach, so thinking learning is all about behavior and a change in behavior, which is still hugely popular today, not saying it's an improper theory. It moves us to the mental processes of learning. So this means that we can dive deeper in and learn how to make learning that actually sticks, because the acquiry and then the organization and then the recall of our knowledge of our content is really encoding. So we've learned a lot about how we encode and how we learn, and a couple strategies that we can use as learning professionals within whatever field we are in is to break up learning into chunks, make it micro-learning. That is hugely effective. Sometimes we see it workflow learning, so we put those pieces of learning within the workflow. Distributed practice within a course is hugely important when we distribute how we practice, so we know that we forget within the first 24 hours 70% of the content we were taught. Well, when we distribute, so then we'll study that material again, maybe take a quiz on it, no stakes quiz, something like that with video feedback, give it back to us within 24 hours. We remember more, and then instead of doing another one at 24 hours, then maybe we'll wait 48 hours. And the next important piece from my perspective is schema theory. And schema theory really gets into the structures that we create to help us organize and retain the content that we're learning. And what this means for us as learning professionals is we want to create learning that connects, new learning that connects with previous learning. And there are many ways that we can do this as learning professionals. So take a moment with me and think of a moment when you saw something way off in the distance. You saw something way out there and you weren't sure what it was. What's the first thing that you did? Well, you probably started running a script, if you will, almost like a computer script, where it kept running and running, and you were comparing what you were seeing that you weren't sure what it was to things that you already know, and say, okay, is that a crow? Is that somebody's shirt that was left on a hedge? Is it whatever it may be? So you're comparing it to what you already know. We're going to take advantage of that within schema theory by creating ways for people to connect their new knowledge with previous knowledge. And we could do that with something as simple as a concept map and asking people, hey, how does this connect to what you've previously learned? And the next takeaway from cognitivism is cognitive load. This is one of my favorites. I just kind of like that phrase, cognitive load. I don't know why I like it, but I do. And there's 3 types of cognitive load. There's intrinsic cognitive load, which is the inherent difficulty of whatever we're learning. So the topic that we're learning, if it's difficult, it's difficult. And then there is extraneous cognitive load. Those are the cat videos that we sometimes see in courses that have no reason to be there. So it's just extraneous stuff that takes away from our focus, takes away from our effort to learn. And then there is germane cognitive load, and that's the amount of brain power that we have to supply in order to learn that content. And that is different for everyone. So one of the key strategies for me is, once again, micro-learning. So we break it down or chunk the learning into usable pieces. So not a 4,100 hour lecture, just small chunks of learning where people can digest it. And when we're learning on our own, create our own micro-learning if you have a large article or something to go through. The next piece about cognitivism is metacognition and self-regulated learning. So really thinking about thinking. I kind of love that piece. It's thinking about thinking. It's super meta, right? As we think about how we can utilize that as a learning professional. To do this, we're going to ask reflective questions, give reflective assignments, and give some assignments where it causes the learner to plan, because planning forces us to reflect and it forces us to really think about thinking. And the fifth thing about cognitivism is really, why do we care and how do we apply it? Because we've learned about all these things such as schema theory, cognitive load, my favorite statement, cognitive load. And how do we apply it? Well, very simple. One of my favorite techniques is to give a no-stakes quiz even prior to the person learning any of the content and give video feedback. So create a micro-learning. So how does that begin to crack open the learning process? Well, by doing that, you're starting to get people to think back to their experience, and you're automatically cracking open that previous knowledge and experience. And then with that micro learning, you're connecting to it already. So that's one powerful way that I know how to use this. I am really curious, how do you apply cognitivism within the work that you do? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your strategies and the stuff that you do to help make learning stick, specifically around the area of cognitivism. So if you like this kind of content, please give me a like and subscribe. And I look forward to what you have to say within the comments section.